Dynamic and Mendigilo. Mendigilo got the first ban, first pick, and Janna straight out of the gate being banned. We saw the ban of Janna earlier on today as well, so I think everyone's kind of now starting to get sick of having to deal with Janna here.
Yeah, I mean, she's just an all-around strong champion. If you're not planning on first picking her, she's really a first-picker ban. So if you're not planning on first picking her, then obviously you can, ban her out. Lulu being banned out as well, so, Lulu just an all-around strong champion. Because Mendigilo, they are first pick, and they're kind of, completely unknown. And so Team Dynamic, they don't really have any knowledge coming into this game of what to expect. Yeah. So they're perfectly fine with just banning out common, strong champions. Udyr, he's strong in the jungle and he's strong top lane, and he's just an all-around easy champion to play. Mm-hmm. So if you can ban out those obvious champions, then you can force people maybe into harder roles that they're not comfortable with.
And Dynamic was also on the receiving end of the Dignitas Lulu as well during IPL4. So we're like, we still haven't quite figured out how to deal with this Lulu. So let's just, for now, play it safe. We don't know what they're capable of. Let's just ban her out anyway. Soraka and Mundo also being the last two bans here. Mundo was also a very popular ban earlier today as well. And Soraka, to be safe, let's ban out some more supports here. So now we got 3 supports already out of the system from the start.
Yeah, so with no Soraka and Janna, we're moving into a kill lane bottom, which will be exciting for both teams. Yeah. See what they kind of pull out.
So we got Alistar still on the docket for support. Tarek there, he's got his stun. Alistar
is definitely the right pick here. Yeah. I mean, Alistar can be one of the most aggressive junglers in the game, and then as a support, he's because Soraka and Janna are already banned out, he's the next top tier support. He's really just dominant. So that makes a lot of sense for them to pick him up.
Yep, I had a feeling Nintendo was trolling me there with that Evelyn. I'm pretty sure that's not what they're going to be doing. But I've also wondering to see what Dynamic has been doing these past few weeks since IPL4, because we haven't quite seen if they've come up with any new strategies, any more any interesting team comps on the way. Because we've seen Nintendo also Nintendo himself playing a lot of Jarvan and a lot of Olaf, and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, I was going to say he really enjoys those aggressive junglers. The fact of the matter is, Dynamic and this is back with Mono. Their kind of team strategy, they haven't really been about coming up with new and exciting strategies. Their modus operandi hasn't been, hey, let's go out and break the meta or go out and do something that no one's ever thought of before. Yeah. They kind of just pick the standard same strong champions and just decide, okay, let's do this, and we're going to do it right. We'll just play it at a very high level. And so all of the champs that you've seen, other than Nintendo does play really aggressive junglers. Otherwise, everyone on their team has just played pretty standard, OP champions that are just all around strong, so that they can win their lane matchup and then have a strong later game.
But we see Amumu and Leona being picked out for Dynamic here. And Amumu, I mean, he's still one of my favorite champs, but you're playing him as a jungler. If he gets stopped at blue, it's a really, really rough start for him.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And Alistar can be one of those early initiators, so we'll see whether or not they're aggressive. Amumu brings very little to the table at level 1 fights. Same with Xerath, actually. He's got some nice AoE damage, but he really needs to hit level 2. We will have the stun from Leona, so there is the threat that Mendigilo will invade. And right now, Mendigilo, they have a pretty aggressive team. We'll see whether or not Warwick is going to go in that top lane or jungle. I'm assuming it's going to be top lane, but there's always the potential that Alistar can jungle or support. And if it's a jungle Alistar, so we actually will probably have Aurelia in that top lane, and probably Fiddlesticks jungle, though there is the potential for a Fiddlesticks mid, so that'll be interesting to watch. But regardless, they have a lot of initiation, they have a lot of disables, they have great team fight control, so they can pick people off, and that's what Mendigilo is going to want to do. They want to pick people off, get those early kills, and in response, we have kind of a defensive team from Team Dynamic. They pick up Morgana and Kennen, who are both going to be very safe, because they know, all right, they've got Warwick, they've got Ashe, and they've got Alistar. Hey, let's step back, take a step back here. Let's get these safe lanes. It's almost impossible to gank Kennen. It's almost impossible to gank Morgana after she gets a couple of levels. And they will be safe and able to control the lane with all of this AoE that they already have.
Fiddlesticks mid against a Morgana. I mean, it's granted the fear is instant, but you can sometimes telegraph moves based on a shield bit. And last pick for Dynamic will be Teemo. I gotta get Nick to go over to my desk because I did bring the Teemo hat in today. I don't know. I'm feeling it.
I decided yesterday. By the way, I want we need to write "Born to Kill" on your Teemo hat with the peace sign, and because I want there to be a Vietnam Teemo skin. So for everyone who's seen Full Metal Jacket, I want "Born to Kill" on the Teemo hat with the peace sign. And, like, he can lob grenades or whatever. But
Nick just came into the booth. I have the hat on, but I'm not going to switch to webcam yet. We'll have to wait until after the game's done. But I also realized, I remembered just now, just at this instant, why I didn't wear a Teemo hat as much on stage at IPL4 is because I'm wearing a headset. And, yeah, it's a little difficult. But you know what? After the break, we'll have the Teemo hat for you guys. So it's there. It's on the desk. It's waiting. And I know a lot of you in chat have been like, every week, where's the hat? Where's it? Well, it's right here. We got it. It's just have to wait for it until after this game.
So this is actually interesting. Teemo is going to be top lane. So,
yeah.
They're going to be switching Kennen down into that bottom lane, running AD Kennen again. We have seen, AD Kennen throughout, League of Legends, Moscow 5, kind of being one of the first teams to really use it competitively. And earlier today, SK was using, or not SK, Crowd Control Gaming, the people that SK played, they were using AD Kennen as well, and it's a pretty strong bottom lane, particularly when you pair it with Leona. So they've got the Leona stun. We'll set up the Shuriken for Kennen, so Kennen will actually have the easy stun as well. So they'll have the double stun, lots of damage. The big thing with AD Kennen is that AD Kennen has actually really high base stats, and when you're looking at unconventional AD carries, you're looking at champions like, oh, well, let's play AD Annie, and it'll be fun and dandy and everything. No, that's not the case. AD Kennen, on the other hand, if you look at his stats, he has good attack range, he has good attack speed, his attack speed, early attack damage, early armor, early magic resist, early health, early movement speed is actually higher than basically every other AD carry in the game. So having those high base stats, couple that with the stun in the lane, it makes you an aggressive laner. And then, in team fights, he's got the mobility. He can sit there and lightning rush out of any danger if you're playing against a really aggressive team. And here we have Fiddlesticks. So if he needs to get out of the range of Fiddlesticks, Alistar, he has that. He will have, like against a Aurelia, the ultimate to proc those stuns. But the issue with Aurelia is, of course, that with the CC reduction, she's going to be very difficult to stun. So regardless, it'll be interesting to see how they do down that bottom lane. But it is a very aggressive lane. Top lane, Teemo versus Aurelia. Teemo should absolutely crush that lane, and that has got to be really scary considering that Warwick is not the fastest jungler and can't gank until level 6. So they have a lane where Teemo should just dominate, and they don't have any potential for jungle support.
Yep. And I've also just noticed this about team dynamic as well, is that there is so much magic damage on that. It's just pretty much everybody.
Right.
And you got the AoE from Amumu, you got Morgana, you got Kennen, you got Teemo Poison. It's just all magic damage. And
it's a nice mix of AD as well, because if both Teemo and Kennen go AD, which they should, then you've got a lot of physical damage to add to the mix.
But I'm starting to feel like maybe like if Fiddlesticks, if Dynamic picked Fiddlesticks, he had the passive on Dynamic. Oh my God! You got Fiddlesticks passive plus a Abyssal Scepter on a team that's almost majority magic damage, like 40 magic D shred on the entire enemy team. Oh, that would have been brutal. But you know what? We'll see how it works out. Fiddlesticks mid versus Morgana. And my Morgana mid, it's a very passive lane. So we'll see if how aggressive surprise party Fiddlesticks at that we'll be getting. So we will see what happens in the Iron Solari Leona skin, one of my favorites. Gotta talk to. I haven't talked to Iron Stylist since IPL4. I gotta talk to that dude. I gotta hit him up on Twitter.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. Fiddlesticks, he is kind of an unconventional mid, but I do know some people who have kind of tried him out some. The big thing with the Fiddlesticks versus Morgana is, I don't know how effectively you can farm as Fiddlesticks. You definitely want to key in on that farm. And Fiddlesticks, when he's farmed, can be just absolutely nasty disruption. So he's got tons of AoE damage. He's really squishy early in the game. But as long as you farm, obviously you're going to be really strong there. For Morgana's snare, the snare doesn't stop his drain. So he can sit there. If he gets the drain on Morgana, he can exchange damage very effectively with her there. However, because of the lack of mobility and because he is very short range, if he sits there, starts draining, Morgana walks up and ults him at level 6. She gets the stun off, followed up with the snare. He's so squishy that she will have tons of burst damage and be able to easily kill him. And that's going to be the concern, keeping out of Morgana's kill range once she hits level 6 in particular. Before level 6, it should be a pretty even matchup, and because Morgana tends to be a safe lane, she tends to be a free farm lane, it will allow Fiddlesticks to get into this game. And then when you consider they have Aurelia, they have Warwick, and they have Alistar, all these frontline champions, they have the initiation with Ashe, so they can, force a fight on Team Dynamic. They can get everyone grouped up, combo the Warwick ults and all these these disables, and then have Fiddlesticks just jump on top of them. And all of Team Dynamic, it's a short-range team. So they have a short-range team. All of them will tend to be clumped up. So there's a potential for really strong Fiddle ultimates later, though obviously they will want to watch out for the initiation from Dynamic because they also have just fantastic combo coordination. So we'll have to see how that works out for them.
So we do see Mendigilo looking to steal the blue, but here's the thing, Dynamic, they already know. They have a feeling that they're going to be invaded already, so it's kind of like a mutual steal of blue here on both ends of this game. So this is like, oh, we're going to be sneaky, we're going to steal their stuff. Now they both have the same idea, so they're both in the enemy jungles looking to steal those initial buffs.
And that's actually why a lot of times you'll see the support go and ward either your own blue or your own red and then go into the enemy. So if you really want to force a fight, you can steal theirs or you can come back and engage on them here. Right now, Amumu will be able to get his blue, so he's not going to have any issues there. And because Amumu is actually a little bit faster than Warwick in the jungle and then has earlier ganks, they definitely have the jungle advantage there. But Warwick, once he gets going, you can pick up pretty easy kills with the ultimate. So we'll have to see how it goes. Kennen coming down, maybe going to harass him a little bit. No, they will allow him to back out, but they do know that the blue is cleared, so they do have a good timer on that. It is just a regular time spawn, so they will be fine there.
All right, so here we are hopping into the mid. Paradoxical versus Uchiha in the mid. Morgana versus Fiddle. We're going to see how well that fear on Fiddle fares. It is instant speed, so Paradoxical is going to have to be pretty fast on that shield. You want to prevent running away in fear. And actually, the Dark Wind is actually doing a fair amount of damage. And Morgana can farm at a distance with the pool. And if you toss the Dark Wind over, you toss that little balloon animal on that particular skin over. If you max that out to 5 first, it is a silence as well. We may actually see Morgana being harassed down pretty early. And Pixel also being caught out in front. Quick pulverized by Ron out there.
Yeah, and some nice harass going down from Alistar and Ashe. And Ashe, they do have the range advantage, and Alistar obviously matches up very well against Leona. He's very strong, and then he has a little bit of sustain. So because Leona doesn't have any sustain, for them to be able to harass down Dynamic early in that lane is just absolutely critical. And right now, Fiddlesticks doing a pretty good job holding this mid lane. The key will be, how successfully he can farm into that mid game. If he can just take control and, have enough damage to contribute very successfully to these fights.
Yep. And you also notice that Fiddle did not go the traditional boost 3 pods. Oh, we actually got White Knight getting a little bit aggressive, is exhausted, trying to get away. Zig flashing in, Ignite going down. Will the last few bits of health go with the Ignite? No, it will not. So we got some summoners being burned pretty early on by Dynamic. Nintendo now making a presence in the mid, trying to see what he can do down there. Not a whole lot, because Fiddle is actually pushed to tower. And now Ron has to defend bot tower all by himself. White Knight did have to back to go heal all that damage, but Nintendo is here, tries to get the bandage toss here on Fiddle in mid, but Warwick is not too far away. Amumu does have a level advantage, but will cry to himself walking away.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to gank with Amumu. Actually, the snare should be able to hit. There is the snare, and actually he's very close to going down. The bandage toss from Amumu. Ooh. They get the first blood, so that's going to be a huge advantage for them early, and, it's definitely difficult to gank with Amumu. That's one of his difficulties. If you hit the snare, then it's fantastic. It's just really combo. Strong gank. But it's generally pretty easy to dodge the bandage toss. But having the follow up on Morgana's snare is huge, and it should be pretty interesting the spot lane now because. Right now, Ashe has the range, she has the volley to keep herself pretty well, and she's doing pretty well with that. Both of the aggressive summoners, like you said, are down for Team Dynamic, so they don't have that same killing potential. And we still have that heal up on Ashe, so she can go back to doing that her range harass. But she did miss a significant amount of creeps underneath that tower, which means she's behind on golden experience, which puts Kennen at an advantage in this lane.
I also want to note right now, incredibly early on in this game. Actually, we got a Mumu back up top lane. Nintendo trying to make something happen on Aurelia here. We got the bandage shot, so it does land, but Zion Spartan's a little bit too far away to try and make something happen on that, but hurting. Very bad top lane so far, but Pixel in bot gets pulverized. Zig coming in with a lightning rush. We're trying to focus down Alistar. He's not 6. He does not have his ultimate yet. We do have heals. Can we get a heal? Can we get a heal? Just a... He's not even using it yet. He's just saving it for the right moment. There we go. But if you look at the farm on all 3 lanes right now, the farming from Dynamic, not even a whole lot of pressure has happened, and the farming is just, quite frankly, superior.
And the biggest issue is this top lane is just at such a disadvantage. And actually, Teemo going in for the kill. There's the stun from Aurelia, though. She's going to be able to pick up that kill. So we do have an exchange. But even so, Teemo is just at such a dominant position in that lane. So Aurelia getting some early kills, would definitely be huge for her. She can get to level 6 to have that regen with Transcendent Blades. And if she gets the Wit's End, then that'll definitely help her as well. Another gank from Amumu, not going to be able to get in range. And mid lane generally doing pretty well, but it is a pretty aggressive lane. And there's actually the ult, followed by the snare, and a quick kill for Paradoxical, able to pick that up. And that's the concern, is that Fiddlesticks, he is pretty short range, so if he allows Morgana to get a little bit too close, there's always that potential for the quick burst.
I'm looking at the level difference here between Nintendude and Jimmy Jangles here on Medigila. It is a full level. With 1 kill difference, but we'll also look at the creeps aren't really, that much of a difference between the junglers right now. Is that 1 kill. It is that 1 kill is the first blood that is making difference between the junglers right now and all the other lanes. It's the farm. We got the headbutt towards Pixel here. We could have knocked him into the tower, but it's just the wrong angle right now, and Zig trying to get some last damage on White Knight under tower, and right now Ashe is in a whole lot of trouble, but Warwick is coming down to help. Zion Spartan trying to get the engage here on Sonic Rida, but Warwick is actually now down in bot lane. Can we actually make it engage on something down here? I'm not sure if he's going to decide to do it, but that Tribush is warded, so that is the warning there for Team Dynamic.
Yeah, and the big concern is that Warwick really needs to get to level 6, and he needs to have his buff timer. So Mumu coming down to steal his blue buff, recognizing the timer, seeing Warwick in that bottom lane. They did spot him, so he's able to get the successful steal there, put Warwick further behind, and now he should come up for this top lane for a gank and actually tower dive Aurelia, which is going to be a huge concern for Sonic Rita up top.
We're just walking in circles here, because right now Aurelia has already established that she can really only safely farm under tower, but Paradoxical actually getting another kill on Fiddlesticks down in the mid, and here comes Nintendo once again trying to get that kill. We got the poison, we got the tears, we got the crying, but Jimmy Jangles is here trying to make something happen about this, but Nintendo is 6, he has his ult, and now this Warwick is trapped in that Tribush, and double kill for Teemo top lane.
Yes, and now at this point, Teemo's just so far ahead. It's just such a difficult lane for Aurelia to stay in. She did get the double Null Magic Mantle early on, which is the right way to build, building into that Merc Treads and then Wit's End so that you can have a little bit more damage against Teemo. You could maybe go Wriggles against Teemo in that situation, but I think the big thing is that Aurelia needs to find other means of farming now, because she's not going to be able to sit in that top lane.
No.
Teemo is just such an aggressive top lane. So really what you want to start doing is roaming a little bit. When the creeps hit the tower, obviously you can farm there. Go steal your own jungle. But right now,
stealing your own jungle.
Stealing your own jungle
if you
is tough
don't
because
hit
we
a
have
mushroom.
so many shrooms.
Yeah, if you don't hit a mushroom, maybe you can farm your own stuff. But it's like that's how far Zion Spartan is in the lead here in his top lane. He can afford to take a break, take a nice little vacation in the enemy jungle, and leave his mark wherever he may be. And we got mushrooms everywhere. Such great coverage up in the top side of the map from Zion Spartan, and then actually now in the mid, I think they're going to go for another dive here on Fiddlesticks. They're pushing him out through the tower, and the ult comes down, the bandage comes in, and once again another kill on mid. But I see this because actually I see remaining Uchiha actually going away from his own tower when these engagements happen. It's like he should be getting closer to his own stuff in order to get secure those extra hits, but we actually got Nintendo once again trying to get in on Jimmy, and he will barely get away, even though we got the buff, and we got Alistar now being singled out by 3 members of Dynamic. He's on Nintendo was in the jungle earlier before, so he's going to join, and just the bare end of that bandage catches White Knight off guard. The Summoner Heal goes down, trying to get some damage on Pixel, but is not going to be enough, just barely.
Yeah, and at this point, Team Dynamic, they're ahead, and they have, a really aggressive team, lots of disables, so they can push it. Teemo going to duel with Aurelia here. Aurelia jumping in, really not necessary. The Ignite from Teemo will take her down, so getting kind of close. But actually, Fiddlestick's going to be able to pick up this kill onto Amumu. There it goes, and actually the Amumu ult is also burned, and he's going to ult over onto Pixel, pick up the second kill. Can he get Kennen? He needs the fear. Kennen is going to be walking underneath the turret, so he can't turn around and fight him, but he will get out of there. He does have enough range. So we had the Fiddlesticks ultimate there, a small win for Mendigiolo.
That was just wonderful timing by Uchiha right there.
It was good awareness. They didn't have a ward. He was just, recognizing that Leona was coming.
Yep, but we do see Zion Spartan just pushing so far up. Down in there, and Flash is up. Did we get the fear on Zig now? But
she's going to get the stun under tower, though.
Oh, yes, we got the Ash Arrow, yes! Wow, okay, see, now we're seeing a little bit, of aggression here from Mendigiolo, but I fear this is a little, it's a little bit too late on this.
Well, if Ash had launched the arrows sooner, then they would have been able to stun Kennen outside of the tower. Then all of a sudden they can grab that kill. Fiddlesticks doesn't go down. Losing the double buff is, it kind of hurts a little bit, but still picking up a large number of kills early in the game, maybe can snowball them into this mid game. But we actually have Paradoxical coming down, and this should be a pretty easy double kill. Amumu is coming down as well. They are way out of position. There's no way that they're going to be able to get out of this. The flash for Ash is up, so she could maybe flash out, but we have him coming in. There's the ultimate chasing down Alistar. Ash very close to going down, will go down, and he actually breaks the bind on Alistar, which is a little bit surprising. So they have to use the ultimate from Pixel, but they are able to pick up that kill.
So right now, 4-13, 12 minutes in, Dynamic in an extremely commanding lead so early on into this game. Every single lane just so far ahead right now. Superior farming and kills and ganks everywhere on this map, but we see Warwick and Fiddlesticks here trying to get the jump on someone in this bush, but it's not quite going to happen. And Zion Spartan continuing to farm up top lane. Sonic Rider trying to do something, but even the smallest of engages onto Teemo's not doing a whole lot. Zig barely
close.
No, can we get a Q? Can we get something? We got the speed buff. Yes. Wow, and the ult from Zig going down right at that last instant. We also see Nintendo here catching out. You got the target on Jimmy Jangles. He's trying to get away. Bandage Toss stuns him. We're just going to cry. We're just going to cry our own wonderful tears. And the arrow comes in. We actually hit Amumu. The rest of Mendigiolo are trying to connect, trying to make something happen. But Morgana is here. We got the stun here onto Alistar. He's stuck in the pool. And the bandage from Nintendo over the wall, trying to make something happen. And headbutts Morgana away from the Fiddlesticks drain. There's a little bit of a misstep there, and Alistar will fall. Fiddlesticks, can we finish off Leone? Yes, we can. But Ash is here, plugging away at Morgana. Can we get that last hit that we need? One more. Yes, and the arrow does a nice little wanted thing going over through the wall.
Trying to chase down Amumu, but probably not going to be able to grab him. She will have another Q up shortly, and then get the stun. Actually, Amumu going to bandage toss to the creep, so he will be able to get out of there. But, now Aurelia can maybe farm mid a little bit. I mean, there's really almost zero potential for Aurelia to farm top versus Teemo at this point. Teemo is just so far ahead. Teemo actually got the Wriggles for more, lane control. And there we see, a little bit of damage going off onto Zig, but hopefully Aurelia can get some farm under this tower.
Yep. When an auto attack leaves a champion, if it's a ranged attack, it will still track you, even if you flash away. If you saw that Ash arrow as Morgana was flashing through the wall, it kind of did a 90-degree turn. Like the arrow bent in half. It was right all the way over there. And Nintendo trying to focus down Aurelia here. But Amumu actually does also die in the process. And now Teemo, Zion Spartan being caught out in top. And actually, we're still getting a whole bunch of kills here for Mendigiolo, but still, there's such a ridiculous lead right here on Team Dynamic at the moment. But we've seen Dynamic in spots like this before where they have such a huge lead. Then they start giving away kills, and then things start to happen. Bad things start to happen. But we got the Morgana ult under tower. Will we get the bind on Fiddlesticks? Yes, we can. We get the dark binding. Yes, and the pool will finish off Fiddlesticks right under his own tower yet again. 4-7-3 on Fiddle.
Yeah, and Paradoxical coming into this bottom lane. Warwick does have vision, but there's not really a whole lot that Warwick can do. Paradoxical can just shield, snare out of there. He will be fine. He has his team to support him. And we'll see whether or not they go for dragons shortly or just start aggressively pushing down these towers now, because they do have a pretty significant advantage at this point. Really just completely outclassing Mendigiolo. They're, doing their best. We do have Fiddlesticks getting a number of kills. We do have a good group here, though, in Aurelia coming down. We'll see whether or not we have the Ash Arrow. They need to initiate right now, and we have Warwick as well, but I think they're a little bit concerned about where the rest of the team is. They don't want to, engage a fight and then have Morgana and Amumu pop out and surprise them. So they will sit back for a second.
We have no real vision on Morgana. We have a Mumu in lane. We have Teemo in lane. So Morgana's right now is the only question mark here for Mendig, Elo, and Pixel actually coming in. Headbutt away from Ron, but we got the Pulverize coming in. Zig dealing as much damage as he can to Alistar. We get the Lightning Rush in. Kennen ult goes down. And in the meanwhile, in the mid, we got Paradoxical actually being focused down. Will die to the Fiddlesticks ult among that mess. And White Knight does go down to Dynamic and the Mumu here. Nintendo, we got the Mushroom Forest, courtesy of Zion Spartan. We may actually see Sonic Riding go down really fast at this, and now Jimmy Jangles is caught in a 2v1 situation, plus mushrooms on the side in butter. Pixel now running away because we see that Fiddlesticks is here. 10 to 21, 16 minutes in.
Yep. it's a pretty, at this point, Mendig, Elo, they're so far behind. It's going to be very difficult for them to pull back. But they do have, great initiation with Ashe. They do have a lot of damage with Fiddlesticks. So if they can catch people off guard, they have a great pickoff team. Yes. There is that potential where they can just, find someone that they can grab just as a team and 5v3, get some good initiation. And Teemo tends to split push, tends to not group with the team. So if they can use that to their advantage and pick off, other members of the team while Teemo is still top lane, then very quickly they could get some kills and get back into this.
Now, what I want to see is what I don't understand is why Dynamic is not going for their trademark and not going for that very early Baron, which they're so known for, because they're definitely in
17 would be a very early Baron. I have seen 15. Though,
yeah,
so
it's one of their trademarks. It's one of the things they do so well, and they're definitely in a position to do it. Paradoxical, we may actually see Paradoxical die with the tower. Goal! Nintendo does come in though for the follow up here. The Zig being caught out here, and Pixel here as well. Aurelia will be focused down in that stun sandwich, and Alistar will be the next one to go down. Flashes away. We got 30 health, but Zion Spartan, one dart. One dart from Zion Spartan will finish the job. White Knight does whiff the arrow. Zion Spartan trying to get away, putting poison down on Ashe while we're running away. Nintendo up in front, soaking down all the damage, and Pixel taking the tower as well. Zig here, lightning rushing under tower. We got the ult down, but the tower hit will be able to finish him up, but Nintendo comes in with the bandage toss for the ace.
I apologize for that. But yeah,
I thought Nintendo was going to die there.
Dynamic, getting some good control in here. Kennen does go down to the tower, but the rest of them are alive. Nintendo doesn't have a very good route, though.
Nintendo is trapped.
He's just going to have to tank it, and he is going to go down. Doesn't want to give up that kill to Fiddlesticks. So Fiddlesticks going to be chasing, but going to be running through these shrooms. There's one shroom. Can he hit another one? He will just dodge it, actually. So he's trying to chase them down.
His ult is up. He's going for it.
Can he get the flash on top of him? He does have the fear onto Teemo. He's going to be able to pick up Pixel with the AoE damage. And then Sonic going to be able to chase down Teemo, so they grab 2 kills really quickly from Team Dynamic.
I mean, this is what I'm not liking on seeing for Team Dynamic, is that once we've seen them do this a lot before, is like they're still in a ridiculous lead, but they're giving up these kills, which are they're just giving them to them. They're just giving them to them just for free. Like, they could have backed, they could have safely taken.
Oh, the smite steal!
We got the smite steal of their own blue. And when you're in a position like that, when you have to smite steal your own buffs, that should just give you a nice little clue of how far behind you may be.
But he did get it, though, so we'll give him that. So we'll see, what Mendigilo can do with this. Again, Ash's arrow is on a very short cooldown, so Team Dynamic hasn't really been grouping up yet. There is still a lot of potential to pick people off. Kennen coming down this mid lane. We'll see whether or not the rest of the group comes on him. And Amumu greedily stealing that blue from Morgana isn't going to allow her to have that. So we do have another tower going down.
He uses a lot of mana. He uses a lot of mana while he's crying all over the place. It's a wonderful ability too. I mean, it's just very much like Mundo's AOE, but it just happens to use mana instead of health. So he's going to be needing that where he's going to be going. Just hope he doesn't give it up so freely anytime soon. But actually, we got 3 blue buffs actually in the game right now. So we got the binding.
Burst onto Ashe.
Oh, we got the arrow coming in, but the shield from Morgana will actually soak up the arrow. No stun coming in from that. So we got 4 members of Dynamic up in front in mid lane. We got Zion Spartan as Teemo in the top lane pushing down that But that's what happens. You have the entire team on your front door. Fiddlestick's ult is up. It is not up. But we got this. We got the fear in and triggering the ult onto Zig. But you know what? Dynamic is just way too strong right now. We got Kennen coming in trying to make something happen onto Fiddlesticks. The ignite going down on him. His heal's going to be just a little bit. And now Dynamic is just trying to finish off the last member of Mendig Elo. That is the ace. And we should be able to push down here for the win. Turret down, inhibitor down. And we should be seeing the Nexus going down shortly after this. We got 5 seconds till Alistar, 10 seconds till Warwick. We're letting these minions push. Is Dynamic going to keep on pressing this issue? They're pinging down the Nexus turret, so that should be their next objective right after this top inhibitor. 5 seconds for 2 more members, 10 seconds, and all of Mendig Elo will be up, and Morgana trying to just get back to the fight from base.
They are high enough health that they should be able to push in the Nexus, but they will probably take a step back, continue the push shortly. They have plenty of control. There's no need to rush it. So, we will see that shortly. There's no reason for the Baron as well. It just gives them an opportunity to maybe come back if we have a Warwick steal or, a Fiddlesticks ult, the magical Fiddlesticks ult right on top of them. But they are actually just going to continue pressuring this base, see if they can pick up any kills. They do have plenty of control. Amumu is tanky enough where they can just go under this tower. He's going to try and hit the bandage toss, not grab it.
Zig is now plugging away. Ash has no choice but to leave, but we got the arrow onto Zig, but his shield will keep him alive, and Pixel is here in the middle of everything. Morgana trying to do what she can, and Zig barely living, but the tower may actually finish him off. We got the Fiddlesticks ult, though. How much? Triple kill for Fiddlesticks onto Dynamic, and then just trying to get away. Tried to bandage to an enemy minion to get that distance they needed, but Zion Spartan is here to help protect him.
And the bandage toss!
Nice combo there. Shroom picking up the Fiddlestick slow, and the Amumu bandage toss finishing everything off, but White Knight here being focused down by Amumu, and Teemo will help finish the job. A triple kill for a triple kill, but this one is an ace. Zion Spartan may be able to finish this game on his own. I mean, we got Alistar here. He can disrupt him just a little bit, but the poison from Teemo should be able to finish him off pretty quickly. Plus, we have all of these super minions pushing as well. Alistar has to ult in order to live from that little Yordle, but Aurelia is here. Flash in, slow. Can we do something here? Teemo's just auto-attacking, trying to stay alive. We got the blind. We got the blind. We may actually see something happen here. We got the stun. Who's going to... Oh!
And the ultimate just coming up for Aurelia, not able to get it up in time, so Teemo is able to kite, get that other kill. Now the rest of the team is back. They will be able to push down the Nexus shortly if they decide to fight, but at the same time, a little bit hasty last time, and the Fiddlesticks ultimate, even though they have all this great AoE of their own, he was able to combo it off on the entire team when it looked like they had already lost the fight. And Fiddlesticks able to, clean house. So, pretty effective Fiddlesticks play, grabbing a number of kills. And Team Dynamics just going to sit here and take this Baron. They will have Amumu coming up, and they should be able to take it fairly easily with Amumu. Paradoxical is actually in enemy base, just farming what he can, and the ult going down. Will we be able, and the headbutt actually clearing Morgana away. We do not get the stun on Fiddlesticks. That may have actually could have actually finished him off, but Morgana now just trying to get away. We got the Dark Binding down. We get the arrow. Will hit Paradoxical. Did not have the shield ready, but the slows. Another shield, but it will not be enough. But hey, look where Dynamics been. They got their Baron, and they're in such a huge lead. A 4v5 with more than 20k gold lead and Baron buff. I mean, it's not looking good for Mendig Elo right now with this kind of pressure. 4 members of Dynamic with Baron are just going to clean everything else up here. Yeah, they will be able to push down this next inhibitor fairly easily, I would think. Morgana is down, so this is a 4v5 opportunity, and Teemo's not with the team. It's actually a 3v5. Ash's arrow won't be up for another 30 seconds, but they still have the initiation from Aurelia. Once Ash's arrow is up and Warwick's is up, they should be able to get a good initiation, but we'll see whether or not they go in sooner. Teemo is going to push down this mid lane, though, so they will have to worry about the backdooring creeps. And that's definitely going to be a concern. But Warwick's ult should be up in like 10 seconds, and we'll see if they jump on someone with it. Warwick, Warwick and Ash, the prime initiators here for Mendig Elo. But this is it. Like, this is a grim situation here. Pixel comes in with the initiation onto Warwick. Poison will slow him down and plug him down as much as he needs. But Alistar goes down really quick. Zig barely getting away, but does fall anyway to Aurelia. And now
Dynamic is just trying to clean up everything he needs, but it looks like Warwick had a bit of a mistime on the ult. If he actually got Leona with that, he could have gotten the kill, but instead grabs Teemo instead. But
I'm pretty sure Teemo would have killed them if that's the situation. But Zion just playing with White Knight here right outside the base. There's the Leona trying to drag him in. Ooh, Zion Spartan, can he get the kill of Warwick? Not going to be able to grab it, but they are going to get the Nexus. So game 1 going to Team Dynamic. We'll see what Mendic ELO, try and do in the next game. Fiddlesticks, he definitely had a fun game. He did. Picked up a number of kills for himself. And, they did have some, fun interactions, I guess I'll say. That's the way of putting it.
It's fun. It's still fun. I mean, it's still a game. It may be a competition game, but you know what? You got to have fun. You do.